Okay, this is amazing. This is amazing.
You saw me swear the
The plaintiffs are calling Afroman. The plaintiffs are calling him. They have to examine him within the rules of direct examination, which means they have to ask him open-ended questions, not leading questions. They cannot lead him. If he was on cross, they could. But because they are calling him in their case in chief, they have to ask him open-ended questions, which means he gets to narrate a little bit. A bold choice.
testimony you're about to give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. As this, you shall answer unto God.
Yes.
Thank you, sir. And have a seat.
Go ahead, Mr. Franklin.
Thank you, Your Honor. For the record, would you give us your name, please?
My name is Joseph Edgar Foreman.
You are known under the stage name as Afroman, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And you create music videos and do performances, is
Yes,
that right? How many states of the United States have you performed in, do you think?
All of them.
All 50.
Yes, sir.
And how many countries have you performed?
Actually, it's 46.8 states, according to how your cops count. Fucking idiots.
Performed in?
I don't remember, but not all of them, but I've been to a few.
How many live performances did you do last year, roughly?
I don't know. Possibly 250. I don't know, but I don't know. It's a lot of days, but I don't know exactly.
And you have a residence here in Adams County, correct?
Yes, sir.
You've been performing for 20 or 30 years, is that right?
All my life.
All right. And is it fair to say that one of the first big hits you had was, but then I got...
Oh yeah, this is still day 2's video, but I believe he also wore this day 1. But this is day 2's video. We're almost caught up to today.
Got high?
Because I got high.
Because I got high? And do you think it's accurate to say that that song has had over 300 million views on YouTube?
Sounds right.
You have a large presence on social media, obviously, correct?
Depends on your definition of large. There's bigger people than me, but I'm all right.
Out of context, hilarious. Out of context, hilarious. We should probably just ask that one cop's wife if he's large. Rat's Ass said, excited to see my oncologist today because I can show up high, lol, doctor's orders. Get it, and good luck, of course.
And on Instagram, is it fair to say that you have 247,000 followers?
Yeah, I just got some of them the other day.
You got new ones coming all the time.
Yes.
No,
Not
the
all
other
the time.
day.
Just here lately.
Because the trial's coming up?
Yeah, all the publicity from the officers lawsuing me is running up my numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And on YouTube, you have almost 1 million followers, 983,000, is that right?
I haven't looked. It was 977 last time I looked.
And on TikTok, you have about 392,000 followers?
I haven't looked at it, but that sounds kind of right.
You know when you post something that a lot of people are going to see it, don't you?
Yes.
It's really, his social media presence isn't that big. I mean, it's very, it's a very nice social media presence. Pretty much anybody who's like life involves social media, at least in a professional way, would love to have those numbers, and then hopefully build from there. So like, no shade at all, but it really kind of goes to show that he's not wildly popular. I mean, this isn't like a pop star, 40, 50 million followers and shit like that. I mean, he's got a good social media presence. This guy is not like an A-lister in the music industry, pulling tens to hundreds of millions of people, followers and stuff like that. So, yeah, it's kind of interesting because it just gives us an insight into like how much presence he actually has. It's always kind of hard to determine. You can't have a couple one-hit wonders. It doesn't. That doesn't make sense.
2022, Mr. Foreman. You
only
weren't
have
at home.
one-hit wonder.
No.
You were driving home from Chicago,
Yes.
and you got an alert from a family member that the sheriffs were there searching your home. Is that right?
Yes.
And you were able to turn on your phone and watch through your home security system what the deputies were doing for a period of time, weren't you?
Yes.
And is it fair to say you were angry and upset about this search?
I wasn't happy.
And is that why you posted the things we've seen this week, because you weren't happy?
No, I posted it because the sheriff's never supposed to raid my house in the first place. The whole raid was a mistake. All of this is their fault.
This is why calling the other party on direct is potentially a terrible idea. You just ask him, why'd you do this thing? But a thing that's irrelevant to the defamation, by the way. Him posting stuff in the past week has turned out a great move for him. But it's all around, it's completely irrelevant. It doesn't matter if he posts stuff this week that doesn't inform us on the defamation. But now he gets to say, no, I'm doing this because what they did to me was wrong from the outset. They raided my house improperly and they knew it. They stole money from me. It's bullshit. He gets to narrate.
If they hadn't have wrongly raided my house, there would be no lawsuit. I would not know their names. They wouldn't be on my body. They wouldn't be on my home surveillance system. And there would be no songs, nothing. My money would still be intact, nothing. So all of this is their fault.
And because they executed a search warrant on your home, that gave you the right to post the things that we've seen this week on the internet?
Because
No.
Is that right, Mr. Foreman?
No.
yes, for
Yes.
tearing down my door, not paying for it, not being apologetic, me being a sport, doing something peaceful to raise the money to pay for their damages, me having the right of the freedom of speech as an American to talk to my family, friends, and fans about what the sheriffs did to my home. Yes, I had the right to my freedom of speech. After they left, I had the right to kick the can and to do what I had to do to repair the damage they brought to my house.
Preach,
yes,
brother.
I did.
That includes the right to post the videos that you've just been posting up until Friday
Yes.
and beyond, right?
Yes, I have freedom of speech. I'm a rapper. I entertain. I write fiction, comedy. Yes, I mean, I entertain for a living like you practice law for a living. So I have to go to work.
The deputies left a warrant return at your house, didn't they?
I think they left something with my ex-wife. I'm not sure.
Well, you saw, as soon as the search was over, as soon as you got home, you saw a document that showed exactly how much cash had been taken from the house, correct?
I know I got paid $5,000 for the show that suit was in. I forgot that money was in that suit. But, I heard, I don't know what piece of paper I heard. I knew they took some money. I just knew they took some money. I knew it was 4,000-ish. I knew they took some money and they seized some money and some weed and some, I don't know what else, just minor stuff.
You knew how much money was in that pocket when you came home and saw the warrant return, didn't you?
It was $5,000 from back when I did that show. I remember it was $5,000. But anyway.
So is it your testimony that they actually took $5,000 instead of $4,390?
No, I just know. I know when I did that show, it was with Snoop Dogg and Wiz Khalifa at Red Rocks in Denver. The balance of that show for me, they sent in a deposit, but the balance was $5,000. I put the $5,000 in my coat pocket. I got drunk, I got high, and I forgot to get that money, and I hung that suit back up. And that's where they got that money from.
So it was $5,000 they got?
Yes. It was $5,000 that was in my suit when I got paid in Red Rocks. Now, after all of this stuff, whatever, it's I don't really know the complete number. It's 46, it's 430, the number bounces up and down. But all I know is I got paid $5,000 at the Red Rocks with Snoop Dogg and Wiz Khalifa when I played the Red Rocks in Denver.
And you got $4,000 returned, right?
I don't know the exact amount.
Well, you were there with the news when you got it.
Right, and the lady at the sheriff's station admitted that the sheriff was short. You can go watch the 19 News.
You knew when you saw the warrant returned, didn't you, that the amount that they were saying was taken was actually more money than was in that suit pocket?
I didn't warrant.
That's why you brought the news to the sheriff's office when you got the money back, because you knew that they had miscounted the money and the number on the evidence bag was actually more money.
I didn't know nothing. The lady at the sheriff department just volunteered the information. I was sitting there, if she had been, I might not even known I got ripped off. She admitted it live on Channel 19 News that the money wasn't right.
You remember in your deposition when I asked you, why did you bring the news when you picked up the money?
Yeah, I didn't want to get beat up or Epstein at the sheriff's station after I seen him running around my house.
I didn't want to get beat up or Epsteined at the sheriff's station. What a heroic fucking answer. He literally, unironically, let's take a pause for a minute. He lays out to the jury that he's physically afraid of what the police might do to him because of what they did to him. Because he said, because I saw how they were running around my house on my security cameras. Compelling. Right on, gal. Says Aaron's gift hooked me into monthly maintenance. Hell yeah. And then Right on, gal gifted a membership as well. Thank you so much for doing that. Always important to bring more people in. Torin asked a question about cameras, and Torin, I'm going to answer you in locals in just a second. And tell you which camera I was talking about.
With AR-15s. So that's why I brought the news and my attorney. So to make sure I got out of that place with my money.
You brought the news to protect you physically.
Yeah.
Yeah. You didn't bring the news because you already knew there was a miscount and you were going to make.
I didn't know nothing about the miscount. I didn't know. I figured they stole my money. They turned my cameras off. So if you turn my cameras off, you must got something bad in mind. So yeah, I'm accusing them of it. They turned my cameras off. I can't see what they're doing.
So your testimony under oath here today to these 10 jurors is that you brought the news when you picked up your money to protect you physically from being beat up or shot by the sheriffs, right?
Yes.
All right.
And they volunteered the information that the money wasn't right. That's just an extra something we found out. But I came with my attorney and the news to make sure the people running around my house with guns didn't take me into jail and do something.
You had a safe in your home, correct?
2 of them.
2 safes. Did the sheriffs look into those safes, to your knowledge?
Yes, they
The
did.
deputies?
Yes.
And how did they get the combination?
I gave it to my ex-wife so the sheriffs wouldn't pull my safe out the floor, take it to the station and put something in it and try to say that whatever they put in my safe was mine. So I went ahead and gave my ex-wife, who I didn't want to give my combination to, it was just safer. I went ahead and gave her my combination so they could open up the safe and realize that they just vandalized somebody that don't even have nothing in the safe.
And do you know what was in those safes?
It was absolutely nothing in the safes.
Don't you keep jewelry in those safes?
No,
Didn't you
because
tell me that in your deposition, that you keep jewelry in those safes?
I do.
Was anything missing from the safes when you got home after the search?
I didn't put nothing in the safe.
There wasn't anything in
Was
there.
anything missing from the safes?
There's
when you got
nothing
home?
in there to be
Nothing was in
missing.
them, so nothing was missing from the safe.
Being intentionally fucking stupid is so irritating. I hate
You talked to
attorneys like
Randy
this.
Walters on the phone before you got home that evening during the search, or right afterwards, didn't you?
Yes, sir.
He told you that they were taking some money and some vape pens.
Thank you.
And a small amount of marijuana.
L
He told you that.
flocking
Yes, sir.
glue. For the 5 gifted subs. Amazing.
You knew, didn't you, Mr. Foreman, that there had been an investigation
Mr. Foreman.
by the Claremont County Sheriff's Office into the discrepancy about the cash that was missing from your home, correct? You knew there was an investigation.
Yeah, I knew the sheriffs was investigating themselves.
Oh, that's how you saw it.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And did you ever ask for a report so you could see how bad this investigation of themselves really was?
Yes, I was trying to get involved any way I can. The investigation was going on without any of my participation.
Did you ask for a copy of the report?
I did. I asked for everything. I was trying to be involved. I didn't.
So you've seen the report?
No, I have not.
Okay.
I just saw it a few minutes ago.
Well, you had an attorney when you got the cash returned, correct?
I agree. You
At the
got to get that
station?
membership
Yes.
count up.
I had attorney. Yeah, my attorney was present.
Did
when
your
I got my
attorney
cash.
ask for a copy of this report?
It wasn't in it. When I got my cash back from the station, it wasn't an investigation until we realized money was missing.
Well, did you contact your attorney and say, hey, get me a copy of that report?
Your Honor, I'm going to object. While Mr. Klingler wants to talk about his client's attorney-client privilege and maybe waive it, Mr. Foreman does have attorney-client privilege with his attorney at that time. And we are going to assert that privilege because it's a privilege he has of right.
And so far, he hasn't asked anything privileged. So I appreciate the sensitivity, overrule the objection, and we'll pay attention to it. Thank you. Go ahead.
Thank you, Judge. Your testimony is you never saw a copy of Detective Robinson's report until today.
Yes, sir.
And that's because you didn't want to see a copy of the
I
investigation.
did want to see. You don't know what I want. I did want to see it.
You did.
I wanted everything that had something to do with my money coming.
And that
out.
was 3.5 years ago, correct? And you haven't seen a copy of that report that you wanted to see until this afternoon. Is that right?
That's right. I never had my money taken by cops. I didn't know how this go. I don't know about reports. All I know is live on Fox 19 News, the lady admits that her department is short $400 of my money. That's all I know. I don't know how to investigate police officers taking money.
That's all you
Fucking
know, and that's all you know
great.
today, isn't it?
Great answer.
That's the whole basis of your claim that your money was stolen, is that the amount of money that was in the bags is different from the amount of money that was written on the bag.
Yeah, my whole thing is they never should have raided me in the first place.
That's your whole thing.
Yeah. You guys said you took this amount of money and you gave him back less. If your fucking retard can't bother writing the correct amount on the bag, too bad. Pay the amount that's written. Pay the amount that's written. This attorney deserves to be beaten with a road cone. Fucking useless.
That's my whole thing.
That's the point,
That's my whole
isn't
thing.
it?
If they never would have showed up, there would be no songs about them. I wouldn't know who they are. Their faces would not be on my video cameras.
Yep.
None of this, we wouldn't be in this room right now if they hadn't raided my house and didn't press no charges, didn't even know what they was doing. This whole thing is their fault, and they're suing me for their mistake.
And so you don't really care if they stole your money or not. You're just mad
I
about
do
what they
care about
did.
if they stole one.
But
Police officers shouldn't be stealing the civilians' money. So I do care. All of
He's
it is
got
an
a
outrage. This whole thing is an outrage.
You have no evidence that they took your money except for the amount on the bag isn't the same as the amount.
How about the
got
lady
returned.
admitting that she took?
you answer my-
She admitted that she took my money on live Fox 19 News. Go argue with the film clip.
Well,
Go
Nobody,
argue with her admitting that she took my money.
nobody admitted that they took your money.
Well, whatever. Go look at her admitting that the bag is short
Mr.
because it
Foreman.
stayed open all weekend.
This attorney is sitting here. First of all, it's good that the defense attorney isn't objecting because Afroman is winning this encounter, in my opinion. He looks like the better party here. But this attorney is arguing with a witness. Objection, argumentative. Also, other attorney's a giant fag. What are we doing? He's sitting here arguing with the other party. Unprofessional, unethical, a violation of the procedural rules of the court, violation of court decorum. It is not his job to argue with the witness that he called especially. It's not as simple like, hey, is that actually accurate? Are you sure? Do you remember it? What about this? No. He's arguing with this man about the propriety of what of his memories. He's arguing with him about the source of his knowledge being accurate. And it's his people. His people told this guy he gave him less money than they took. However, it's not just that. He also knows. He knows that he got paid $5,000. It's one thing to be short 500, 600 bucks. It's another thing to be short 1,000.
Long or 2 weeks after Brian and Officer Cooley just left it and just mishandled it and didn't do it right.
Just so we're honest with the jury here, Mr. Foreman, nobody admitted
What's up,
that
Margs?
they took your money, did they?
They admitted it was short.
Yes.
So
Nobody
it looked like
admitted
somebody
that they
took-
took your money, correct?
It was short. She admitted. She said that it was short. And usually it's 10, 5, $2 missing. How does $400 even come up missing? Odd.
You posted videos about Brian Newland doing hard drugs and snitching on his friend, and you posted those based on rumors, didn't you? We can look at your deposition, but before you argue with me, but isn't that a fact that you made those allegations based on rumors you said you heard?
It's a fact. William Newland is a convicted pedophile, and Brian Newland is his brother. After I zeroed in on Brian, I asked about him. Come to find out, he's a large statutory rapist that has sex with all kind of underage girls. He buys them beers and gets them drunk.
Holy shit! Why would you call this guy to the stand? Why would you do that? That guy's a giant rapist. Fuck him. Forever. Forever. He buys them beers. He gets these underage girls. Holy shit. Justifies the pedophile claim and the statutory rape claim. He believes it to be true because of what he's heard specifically about him. Why would you leave this up there? You can't do that. You should be calling him on cross, not on direct. He gets to dry fuck you in the middle of court. Have fun representing your little pedophile cop. You piece of shit. Hell yeah. Solidarity with my African brother. We African Americans need to stick together. That's why I'm on Afroman's side here. Entirely race-based. Entirely. I can't fucking stand these vanilla gorillas coming after him. Garbage. Rat's Ass says, correction, attorney is a flag. Correction. That's right. That's right. Rick Astley's Revenge says, Iran isn't the only place being bombed. Correct. Oh my goodness. Dropping hot beef on this grill. Megan, two great Americans. Oh my God. Thank you. Thank you for the Sean Hannity compliment. You, sir, are a great American. You're a great American. I never paid attention to Afroman. I didn't really care about, like his whole thing. Like, who does? Who does? Now I like him. Now I want to listen to his music and chill.
And all kinds. That's probably the reason he had to leave the Adams County Sheriff Department, because he beats up his wife and he messed with underage girls, and he can get out of town and go get a job in Norwood.
All right.
How's that lawsuit treating you, Brian? You moron. He's also a wife abuser. Statistically, there are problems with law enforcement officers and spousal abuse, particularly male law enforcement officers. Well, and also lesbian Lisa licking down low or whatever. Statistically likely. Oof. Ah, you leave it open. You leave it open. It's like you're playing chess against someone. You just pull your pants down, turn around, and spread your cheeks. I don't know what advantage this gives me in the game, but I know what to do next.
You don't want to answer my question.
I do. Please ask another one.
Well, let me ask this one again so I can get an answer.
Please ask another one.
Do you remember in your deposition when I asked you, you have no reason to think these rumors about Brian Newland are true, do you? And you said, well, it's more entertaining if it's true, and I can make some money.
Yes.
Remember that?
No, I don't. That's a however long that deposition was. You can read the deposition and it tells you what I said.
Do we have a copy, another copy of that? Because I'll show it to you, and I can show you my copy. Refresh your...
What else can you show me, you slut? JDE Corey says, can't get hit with defamation on the stand either. It's part of the proceedings. Ouch. Is the attorney high? Correct. All this is privileged. All this is privileged against any defamation claim. Whoops. Your dumb attorney elicited the testimony. Angel the Aussie says, please hit the like and share for our poor little Nick. You guys are amazing. We had right around just shy of 1,000 people all night through 7 a.m. Central Time. That was crazy. Now we're up pushing towards 1,300 on YouTube. I feel like maybe the algorithm and word of mouth is helping get the word back out that I'm here, and we have a great fucking trial going.
recollection.
Vaping is gay. I
So
know.
it refreshes recollection.
It's,
Trees.
You're way straighter if I had a dick in my mouth, but
thank you, Judge.
YouTube doesn't like that.
If I can get it working here.
Your Honor, I would object to using the screen to refresh his recollection, that's publishing it to the jury. If he wants to refresh his recollection, he can show him it and then ask him a question, much how we would do in criminal law with a police report. If an officer didn't remember, we wouldn't show the report, we would show it to the officer. He would refresh his memory by reading it, and then we'd re-ask the question.
Do it that way, just make sure you think he reads it right. I'm just trying to get through the verbiage.
If Mr.
Just make sure you think he reads it right, otherwise I have to wrestle with you about whether he read it right.
Wrestle with me, Daddy
Sure.
Judge.
So just read it. And then if we want to move it as an exhibit, you can do that.
Remember your deposition being taken, Mr. Foreman, in your attorney's office on September 3rd, 2024.
I remember the deposition.
And that deposition was taken in DJ Osborne's office?
Yes, sir.
That's the same office that you used to film that video that we saw last night with the actor playing Lieutenant Lisa Phillips. And that actor was sitting in the same chair that Lisa Phillips sat in during her deposition, wasn't she?
Yeah, the actor played Lisa because I wouldn't have known her if she hadn't came to my house and cut off my camera.
Yeah, right. That's the office we're talking about, and that's the office where I took your deposition, right?
Yes, sir.
And in that deposition, I'm referring to page 84 of the deposition. I had asked you about...
Object, he's testifying.
No,
For
he's
the
using
witness.
the deposition to refresh his memory. He's doing it right, so sit down, please. Go ahead.
Oh, is he?
Did I ask you this question, and did you give me these answers, Mr. Foreman? Question. Would it be fair to say these are rumors? Answer. You know, Stephanie said it, and you know, some other people that don't remember, you know, I'd be in a hurry in Walmart or something, they shake my hand, yeah, Brian used to do this, used to do that. Then something, I didn't know him, but this is what I've heard. Question. You don't have any particular reason to think that it's true or not true, right? Answer. Well, it's more entertaining if it is true, and I could probably make some money and capitalize on it if it's true.
What are the line numbers?
Starting with line 7.
Hold on, I need
and
to hear
ending-
that again. I need to hear that again. I think he said it's probably true, right?
What I've heard. Question. You don't have any particular reason to think that it's true or not true, right? Answer. Well, it's more entertaining if it is true, and I could probably make some money and capitalize on it if it's true.
What are the line numbers?
Starting with line 7.
Afroman, don't look sad. Don't look sad and shake your head. Don't worry, you got this, brother. Just because you say something's funnier if it's true. I often say that the true thing is probably the funnier thing because that's how life works sometimes. Sometimes life is fucked up like that, where the funny thing is true. It's more likely to be true than the unfunny thing because life is funny. Don't let him use an idiomatic response to try and discredit your reasonable belief in the things that you've heard about this person. What reason does he have to not believe it? Hey, Torin, I dropped the link in the locals chat to a fantastic camera. It's the Insta360 as far as webcams go. I haven't seen anything that produces a picture like that. It looks like a DSLR. I've been tempted to use it, but then I would feel bad about my more expensive DSLR camera. But it's really good. Check it out. I have one, fully endorse it. It is worthy. Relatively Objective over on Rumble says, so with George Floyd, the cop had his knee on a black man's neck, but with Afroman, I think it's safe to say the black man has his proverbial knee on their necks. Balance. And then, and I think, oh, that pray hands. I thought it was a nose. And here we go.
Vape hits for Jesus. Blow us a cloud, bro.
There you go. Hey, what's up, Lady Rackets? Yeah, I could use some food. I could use a little bit of sustenance.
And ending with line 21. Did I ask you those questions and you give me those answers?
Oh, I suppose you want me to
I don't remember.
answer.
That was a long time ago. But
But that's my question.
I've always
Thank you.
put Brian Newland next to his brother. So that's
Yeah.
my basis, and I've always...
We noticed that.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
your
so-
attorney's going to be able to ask you whatever questions he wants. Right now, I'd like you to focus on my questions, Mr. Foreman. You have no evidence that Brian Newland ever molested little boys, do you?
If you look at the picture, he's holding the little boy butt. It's too much for me. So
You just opened him up. His opinion is that, which I said that when they showed the picture, hands right on the kid's butt. His other hand's actually down kind of where the kid's crotch would be. And he said fondling testicles. Like, that makes perfect sense with having the opinion that the way he's holding that kid is inappropriate. Suddenly, that fact statement is based on his observation and his honest opinion about it. Cat Black says, will you cover the Carmelo Anthony murder trial? Maybe. It always just depends on schedules. Like if there's, one, if I have the ability to sit and, stream a trial all day, and two, if I'm not streaming some other thing at the time. Here we go.
if you just use your eyeballs, and then his brother's a convicted pedophile.
That's your evidence for posting that pedophile stuff about little boys.
I'm trying to figure out what kind of guy is kicking on my door. What kind of guy is walking around my house reading my bank statements? It's a dude that's possibly a pedophile, got a convicted pedophile brother, deputized by the sheriff, walking around possibly stealing my money. I'm just trying to figure out what's going on as I zoom in with my cameras. That's not the type of guy I don't think should be on the police force.
I'm going to refer you again to your deposition. If you don't trust my reading of it, I'm happy to give it to you, Mr. Foreman. But on page 98 of your deposition, on that same day, beginning at 9/11, did I ask you this question and did you give me this answer? And again, the only evidence, you don't have any evidence that Brian Newland is a pedophile or plays with little boys. Answer, no, sir. Did I ask you that question? Did you give me that answer?
I don't remember.
What are the line numbers?
Beginning with line 11, ending with line 14.
Cookie, I'm sitting in solidarity with my man, Afroman.
On page 98. You have no evidence that Lisa Phillips stole your money, do you?
I know if she hadn't raided my house, we wouldn't be having this conversation. Nor a lawsuit or nothing. They never should have been at my house.
Since you're not going to answer my question, I'm going to go back to your deposition again, Mr. Foreman, page 102.
Your Honor, if I may, can I just enter a continuing objection so I don't have to object every time he does the deposition?
No, it's too important, so please be specific. Thank you.
So I would enter a notation of objection at this point. He is now testifying for the witness. He is no longer refreshing his recollection.
Correct.
I'll be sensitive to that, so you can rephrase, I'll sustain that.
Melissa Kolanko became a member. Thank you.
So we gotta go back and fix that.
All right, Judge, I will. Thank you.
Oh, thanks, Judge. That was
Do you
really
remember
nice of
telling me in your deposition, Mr. Foreman, that you don't have any evidence that Lisa Phillips stole your money?
No, I don't remember that.
Yeah, I she cut off the cameras, but I didn't know who took them. I didn't know who took them. So, for all the officers was a suspect in the at first, because I didn't know where. After the deposition, I realized that Brian Newland was in charge of the money, and I knew where to focus everything. But at first, all the cops was a suspect, especially after they cut off my cameras, and I couldn't see what they were doing.
All right. Well, so you don't remember? Is that what you're telling me?
I remember telling you that Lisa probably didn't take my money.
Okay.
But I just didn't know. I just knew it was missing, and
Bitch
they cut
better
off
have
my
my
cameras.
money.
So all of them were suspects
So-
until I figured it out.
So until you figured it out.
Until everybody figured it out, until it was solved of where the missing money was.
All right. So just to clear this up and move on, you admit that you don't have any evidence that Lisa Phillips stole your money.
No. But I know if she wasn't there in the first place, we wouldn't be having this conversation or be here.
And is it true that one of your big motivation, really, in making all of these posts is to make money?
To pay for the damage that they brought to my house under the circumstance that they shouldn't have even been there in the first place.
Okay. So the answer to my question is yes, your motivation was to make money.
To pay for the damages that they brought to my house under the circumstances that they shouldn't have been there in the first place.
Have you made enough yet to make up for it?
No.
Not really. You know.
How much have you made on it?
I don't know exactly, but it wasn't hardly $24,000.
$24,000.
It wasn't that. It wasn't that.
You're still making money on today, right? With the new posts and advertisements and things.
It's
you get?
publicity.
You're still selling merchandise, aren't you?
No, publicity. Just me. Just everybody. Thanks to them bringing publicity to this, it's just an opportunity to run numbers up and be an entertainer.
And the more lies, outrageous lies you tell about them, the more money you can make, right?
Fact, they never should have came to my house in the first place. Fact, if they hadn't have came to my house, they wouldn't have put themselves on the video camera and in my music career. All of this is their fact. All of this is their fault, and they have the audacity to sue me. These people and you are the predators and the victims at the same time.
And you.
So what they did, searching your house, gave you the right to do everything you've
Under
done.
the circumstance that I got freedom of speech, after they run around my house with guns and kick down my door, I got the right to kick a can in my backyard, use my freedom of speech, turn my bad times into a good time. Yes, I do. And I think I'm a sport for doing so, because I don't go to their house, kick down their doors, flip them off on their surveillance cameras, then try to play the victim and sue them.
You were at Lisa Phillips's deposition, correct?
Hell
Yes, sir.
In
yeah.
your lawyer's office.
Yes, sir.
Same office where you filmed part of that video last Friday.
Yes, sir.
And you saw how upset she was when she was answering your lawyer's questions about how this had affected her, right?
Yes, yes,
And you saw your attorney say, do we need to take a break?
yes,
And you saw her say, no, let's go on and get this over with.
yes, sir.
You saw all that.
Yes.
You knew she was upset.
Just like she knew I was upset when she was standing in front of my kids with an AR-15 with her hand around the trigger ready to shoot me. Just like she knew I was upset when she cut my cameras. But I'm not a person. She is. So I'm sorry for being a victim. Let's talk about the predators.
Okay.
FFS Cast says a real N-word is standing on business. Hey, yo, it's just business, y'all. It's just business. Cookie has become a new member. I think maybe. Cookie has become a new member on YouTube. Thank you, Cookie. I thought you already were a member, but welcome back to the fold. As always, guys, we are pushing up towards 1,500 live on YouTube. Keep doing whatever y'all are doing, liking, sharing, commenting. Love it. Let YouTube know that that you're happy to see this show. That's a great thing. YouTube likes to hear shit like that. Ratsass67, new member, thank you. By the way, I put in the description of yesterday's video or last night's video and this video, or we'll have it, not in the description, in the comments. It might already be there, but put in the comments to go ahead and you can reply to my comment. It's pinned. Reply with timestamps of your favorite moments and anything like that. And you may see those pop up as their own short video sometime in the very near future, like, today, tomorrow, stuff like that. If there's a timestamp of a moment you like, let me know. Let me know. I can probably drop a little screenshot of your screen name too if I use your timestamp. So telling me what you guys like to see and enjoy watching so we can share it with other people so they know this trial's fucking fun is always good stuff.
So you saw all that. You saw how upset she was. You heard the testimony about her children. You heard the testimony at the depositions about Randy Newland's daughter who came home upset. You heard all that, but you're still posting stuff about
Yeah,
it.
because I understand it was Randy's fault and all of their fault for coming in my house in the first place. So if they hadn't have came to my house, their children wouldn't be saying nothing. None of this would be going home if they did their research and did things right. So all of this is their fault.
Why
And
would you
now
want
they
this
wanna
man
sue me
saying
for
this?
their mistake.
Is there anything that could change your mind about what you're doing to these deputies?
Is there anything that can change my mind about the fact that they shouldn't have been at my house in the first place? Is there anything that can change my mind about how my money shouldn't have been touched in the first place? No.
That's all the questions I have. Thank you.
You're welcome.
That's not a good answer because that suggests a reckless disregard of the truth. That could be a problematic answer. He's unwilling to entertain the possibility that he has something wrong. That is a harmful answer. However, there are other elements, of course. He seems to believe the truth. He's laid it out. Call that guy a pedophile because he sees how he's handling a kid. A rat's ass 67 says, Afro drizzle them facts. They ran with a rumor to get a search warrant. He's going to use the same rumor to make his music and money. Make it rain. Make it rain. And bringing him on the stand on direct was a terrible idea. Terrible idea. Chris Clemens says, look at you being a good jewelry and getting us to curate your content for you for free. Proud of you, Nick. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Now I still have to go through and make sure you guys are correct about it being good moments. And this is an honest exchange. I said I think about potentially putting a screenshot of your of your comment in the video as well. I'm happy to do so. I just got to figure out how.
You want to continue, I'm sorry, Mr. Osborne. Do you want to continue the direct examination of your client now?
Your Honor, I was going to actually ask for a sidebar so we can talk about that.
Okay, so let's just talk about it.
Okay, so I was actually going to not do cross with Mr.
Sandy
Thorne at this time.
Callie
I was going to hold off until
Joining us
our
on
case
as a new
is-
member.
Yeah, I just offered you the chance to do that. So do you want to do your direct examination on your case in chief right now?
Not right now, Your Honor.
Like the pogo stick of witnesses up and down is what I was talking about. If he testifies on his own direct case, it could be now or it could be later. I just gave the lawyer a chance to do it now or later. He said later. So you'll likely see Mr. Foreman again. This was an examination on the plaintiff's case.
We actually saw this in the Corey Richins trial. What was it? The state, I think, was it Corey Richins? Yeah, the state, I think it was Corey Richins. Fuck. I think so. We just saw a similar thing in that trial. They're like, well, we're going to bring this person back on direct. So we want to just go ahead and direct examine them. And in that trial, that judge said, no, Nope, you can cross-examine here. That's what's proper. So it would have been the defense doing this. You can cross-examine here. That's what's proper. That's where we are. And if you want to bring them back on direct, you can bring them back on direct during your case in chief, which of course they ended up not levying a defense. That judge made the right call because they chose not to levy a defense, and to allow them to direct examine that witness would have been improper because they never got a chance, or they chose not to call any witnesses. That would have been a workaround where they cheated their way into having a witness on direct that they otherwise wouldn't have. This judge is saying the opposite. Hey, you want to just go ahead and do direct? Do you want to go ahead and do that? Now, I think in this case, it makes more sense because guaranteed Afroman side is going to put forth their case. They're going to do that. They're not going to do the remain silent defense from a criminal trial like they did in Corey Richens. They're going to put together a case and bring it on defense. And so the likelihood that they'd be calling this person during their case in chief, he's now giving them the option to do it now. If I were them, though, I cross-examine and then I ask to call them back. Because it gives you a chance to kind of like redirect, but outside the scope of, well, they'd be on cross. So, but it allows them another bite at the apple later after other information has come in. It might change their questioning strategy. I think it's better to wait it out. This judge has been consistently anti-Afroman. And so if he's like, hey, do you want to do this? No, don't take his advice. This guy sucks.
You get a chance to hear his testimony on his case. There's your explanation. Thanks, Mr. Foreman. You can stand up.